It is great seeing you here. My name is Luc de Koster. I'm the founder of the Koster Academy. And in this video and series of videos, I'm going to talk about the PMBOK 7 and the CAPM exam. In this first video, I will just introduce to you what the CAPM exam is about and how you can register for it, take the exam, and how to keep your certification live. In the following videos, I will look deeper into the specifics of the CAPM exam itself. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. So let's continue with this part of the videos. So we're talking about the PMBOK, the 7th edition, and when you look at it on the right hand side, you see the picture of the front page. There are two parts in it, typically a guide to the project management body of knowledge, also referred to the PMBOK guide, as you see the 7th edition, and it is also part of this book is also the standard for project management. And in my follow-up videos about the PMBOK guide itself, we will talk about all these elements that are part of the PMBOK guide and that provide you videos about the way to study, what to study for the exam. Now, the PMBOK was released on August 1st, 2021, and it's basically the new standard. It's already the standard for the PMP exams. Until now, we still use the PMBOK 6th edition for the CAPM exam, but that's going to change. You can find that. I will talk about that later in this video and in the different parts of the training. It replaces, like I said, the PMBOK 6th edition, which was here or was released on September 6th in 2017. So only after 4 years, which is quite short. What you can also see when you compare the PMBOK 6 and 7 is the size of the PMBOK 7. It's less than half the pages than in PMBOK 6. Now, don't be, happy about it. There is just always the thing that there are a lot of things not in the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, while in the previous editions they were putting more and more tools and techniques in it. You don't find that in the PMBOK Guide. You will find some tools and techniques, but in the 6th edition there was a lot more. Like I said, the new edition replaces the previous one. Now, many elements of the 6th edition are still valid, like the process groups, the ethos, and the knowledge areas. I think when you look at the PMBOK 6, there is a lot of elements that you can use, a lot of interesting chapters there, and it provides all that additional information, which is also very important for the project managers. There is a link. I don't know if you can click it on the video, but anyway, you will have it in the description below, how to get the PMI information about the PMBOK 7. Now, when we look at the certifications, there are always two groups. The main certifications of PMI are the CAPM and the PMP. There are lots of other certifications, but when we look and compare them, we see that there are some differences. First of all, when we look at the job titles for a CAPM certification, what is interesting for you? They're typically very interesting for entry-level project managers, associate project managers, but also project managers for smaller projects. While for a PMP, typically the people are senior project managers or program managers. When we look at the exam prerequisites, you see that the CAPM exam is easier related to the prerequisites. You only need to have a secondary degree and 23 hours of a professional education in project management by a qualified organization or certified project manager. So that's why I have the PMP certification, which makes me a certified project manager. And in fact, I'm accepted by PMI for giving these trainings. Now, there are other possibilities, but we will talk about that later when we're going to look deeper in the study guide. When you look at the PMP, you have to have at least a 4-year degree or a bachelor's degree, 36 months leading projects, and 35 hours of PM education or a CAPM certification. This also changed then with the prerequisites. If you don't have a 4-year degree or a bachelor's, You have to have 60 months of experience leading projects, and the 35 hours or the CAPM certification is still valid. The cost, the cost is a little bit lower for the CAPM, 225 for a member, 300 for non-members, while for a PMI member, the PMP certification exam is $405 and a non-member $555. It's worthwhile to become a member before you take the exam. You also have additional advantages like a digital copy of the different documents, resources online. Recertification for the CAPM, this changed. Originally, it was a degree or a certificate which was 5 years valid. Now you can, in fact, keep the CAPM valid when you have 15 PDUs every 3 years, or you can do a recertification exam. For the PMP, it's a little bit more difficult. You have to have 60 PDUs, or, of course, if in case you lose the certificate, you can do a recertification exam. It's worthwhile to do these PDUs. It's not really very difficult. Anyway, I did my PMP. I almost lost it, and then I started to do the recertification. I started to learn different topics, get my 60 PDUs, and until now I still have my PMP certification since 2001. So it's really a valuable resource that you have, and it will help you get a better job in the project management arena. It may not be sufficient to put you in a job as a project manager, but when you're in a company, certainly for the CAPM, people will see that you understand projects, and it's good, or there's a high possibility they will integrate you in some projects that are going on. And once you're there, your career as a project manager starts automatically. Of course, you can also be hired by companies who are really specialized in project management, and they understand the value of the CAPM certification. So that was it, CAPM versus PMP. The main lesson here is that the prerequisites for the exam and the completion of the form, the application for taking the exam, is a lot easier for the CAPM. When you want to register for the PMP exam, you have to provide a lot of information about past projects, references. Now, sometimes you are audited, not all the time. And in case you are audited, you have to prove all the things that you wrote down in your application. If they find out you've been cheating, very bad, because once they find that out, it's against the code of ethics, and probably you may be scrapped forever from the possibilities of getting a PMI certification. Now let's have a look at some elements that you can find on the PMI website. You see here what's new, the CAPM certification. So they say it's changing early 2023. You have to see what's been updated. I've seen an older version of this. There are some changes that happened, so it's always good to have a look again. You have to know how to prepare for the CAPM exam. Here they say this was recorded in July or copied in July. They're still using the 6th edition. It will change, but don't worry. We will also see what you did before, what has been in the 6th edition, and what materials you can use from the 6th edition to pass the new CAPM exam. You can take the exam online, and you look at all the elements about CAPM, some things about the job market. Anyway, it is clear with the CAPM certification, you will have a clear advantage when getting a job in an organization, even if it's not for a project management role. The knowledge of project managers is really validated, is really important for organizations. Now, this is the exam content outline, and this is also available. Here you see all the different elements about the CAPM, and this is what we're going to talk about, what is important for that exam. You will see that the elements that are in here give you clear instructions about the elements that you have to know, the skills to pass the certification exam. Let's go back to the CAPM exam. Like I said, the price is at 225 or 300. Prerequisites as secondary degree, typically high school, associate's degree or global equivalent, and a 23-hour project management completed by the time to take the exam. Like I said, you can have all those courses available. You have to get or maintain your CAPM. There are 150 questions to complete in 3 hours. And again, they only have 135 questions that count for your score. 15 are test questions. Yeah, you may say, what happens if I have those 15 test questions good and 15 other questions wrong? Well, I don't know. It depends on what type of questions you answered correctly and which ones are wrong. You have 15 PDUs per 3 years to keep your certification. And like I said before, this was recently changed. Now, when we look at the 15 PDUs or the 3-year cycle for the CAPM, there are two parts in there, what we call education and giving back. Education is about taking online classes, taking courses, doing certain readings. There is a list in the PDU on the website. There is a document, a PDF document, how to get all these PDUs. And you have to have at least 2 PDUs for each skill, so ways of working, power skills, and business acumen. The other part is giving back, which is optional. So basically you can do all your 9 PDUs doing education with all the conditions in there. And giving back gives you a maximum of 6 PDUs. You can work, let's say, as a professional there. You can claim up to 2 PDUs. And you can also volunteer in creating knowledge. This is doing work in frame of project management, the PMI, some organizations. But you can also create some knowledge, like some presentations for some other people. So that was it for this video, the first video in this series of 6 videos. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.